Alright, hey guys. So, I've got some extra sheet metal that I'm going to be putting on the Corolla because I got a big problem with the rust on the passenger side, as I'm sure I've talked about before, but I don't know if I've really shown you guys the full extent of it. But pretty much I've got a repop rocker and section of a dog leg that I want to weld in. Unfortunately, part of the whole process is not destroying your interior when you're cutting and welding stuff. So today we're going to be doing some boring stuff. We're going to be taking out the back seat, peeling back the carpet, taking off the weather stripping, possibly... I don't think we're going to have to take off interior trim panels, maybe just the B-pillar seatbelt reel cover, but we'll see when we get into it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've decided instead of replacing the entire rocker panel, I'm just going to cut out what I don't want on the car anymore, and then we'll go from there. So right now, big problem spot right here where the rocker meets the quarter. This is going to get cut off and changed. And then up in here, I noticed like there's some Bondo action going on. So I'm probably going to chop like along here or something, because I really don't know if I want to get involved with all this. This plug's gonna have to come out. I'm probably gonna try up to like maybe like midway up the dog leg. I'd say I'll change, just because it is kind of nasty in behind here as well. Okay, so that's for the back. Then up here, got a little bit of not too bad action going on, but right here is starting to get a little bit nasty. So I'm going to take this molding off from the bottom, and then we're going to start cutting with the angle cutter, and we'll go from there. Okay, so you can see, like, now that I have the molding off, like just how bad it really is back here. So this looks like somebody did a repair well before I was in here. This is actually fiberglass. Like, my dad and I, we just did a little Bondo patch right here back in 2019, which has fallen away, but like you can see, it is it's pretty brutal. Like, this is all just fiberglass junk. Let's see if I can get my hammer going here. Like, this is, yeah. Pretty brutal scene, you know. I hope this inner quarter panel is okay to just clean up and use, because I really don't want to buy more sheet metal, but it's looking pretty junky. Alright guys, so as you can see, that's where I stopped the cutoff line, just because I did feel behind here, actually it's pretty clean, but I just wanted to show you guys this because I found it kind of comical. So somebody definitely has been in here before, because as you can see there, I hope, and I took some pictures on my phone, there's a hole, this is all bondoed over. I was cutting in and I saw the pink coming out, and I kind of nicked it up there. You can see where there's Bondo. The reinforcement doesn't look too bad back here. Inner rocker's going to need a degrease and clean. There's still some of the oil residue from when I sprayed in here, and I'm sure when Crown's sprayed in the past. Overall, not too bad, I guess. This, I'm assuming, is panel bond. It's kind of rubbery and squishy. And then up at the front here, I haven't even looked in here yet, but you can see there's more Bondo. So let's see if I can pry this away. Put it in here. There we go. More Bondo. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you can see there's another lap join inside of here where I'm guessing they did body work at some point. And you can see the inner reinforcements absorbed some moisture. It's a shame, really. It's actually not too bad in this spot, but you don't know until you cut, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna chop this the rest of the way off, and then yeah, that way I'll have some access to clean up the rocker reinforcement there. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now. Pretty good amount of rot back here and up front as well. So I got my work cut out for me. No pun intended. Well, I got a little too curious, and I decided instead of just cutting 2 sections out and trying to measure that, we're just cutting the whole thing because it looks really bad in here, and there's a lot more rust here on the reinforcement. So just to try and repair a good chunk of the pinch at the same time, I'm just cutting a lot of the skin off here. It's a real big shame because I can't believe that they get this bad. These dependable little cars are defeated by nature. But you know, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. And yeah, this will make it a lot simpler. At least I can just cut one portion off of the rocker and then just, you know, weld it in a couple spots rather than making 2 separate patches at least. But yeah, you can see how far the Bondo went. Just absolutely chewed from rust, right? Brutal. Never trust anyone. Always get your car PPI'd. Don't buy off promises and hopes and dreams. Rust is always worse than you think. Yeah. I was able to straighten out this bit, so that'll be nice when I go to clamp it on. I can just use this nice sheet metal vice grip, pinch it like that. But yeah, I'm kind of pissed off, if I'm being completely honest. This is so bad. Okay, so a little update on the Corolla progress. cut the hole up here a little bigger so I could get in there with a wire brush and clean up the rust on the reinforcement. And as I've been going along, I found there's a lot more Bondo on this thing than I thought. Looks like the pinch weld they made entirely out of cheese, so that was cute. I finished cutting off the remainder of the quarter panel on here. That's where the panel bond's gonna go. You can see on this seam. Yeah, so today I've just been going at stuff with the wire wheel. I've got some vice grips. I'm gonna try and bend this straight. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it all with some sandpaper, and then I'm gonna go in there with the degreaser and start zinc coating all the bare metal. And I think that's where I'll end for today. Okay, so just finished zinc. I just rinsed off the entire underbody here just to, you know, deactivate it. Looks a lot better than it did, you know? Like, I didn't touch the rad support because obviously I'm replacing that. But, no. I'm getting dripped on here. Yeah, that's gonna have to dry. Oops. Didn't really think about that. Good thing that one was plugged. But, no, the zinc did a good job. This looked like crap before I started. Now it's almost bare metal. Yeah, not much you can do with these pinch welds. Kind of ran out of sanding paper and stuff to really eat at it. And I didn't want to go too crazy on some of these plug locations. Oh my god, I soaked the carpet. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm getting dripped on too much. Here's the right side inner rocker here. Looking cleaned up okay, actually. Couldn't really get too much in there. But yeah, this area, not bad. I also did some stuff back here, just what I could see, and feasibly do something about. Tried to get the floor pan a bit, kind of futile. I got back here, that turned out okay. But yeah, like, how far do you go, right? How far do you go? Well, I'm gonna call it. It's like 9 o'clock at night. Just gonna let this air dry and hope that my carpet doesn't go moofy. Okay, so I just finished shooting primer. Kind of a messy job. I used the entire can of Semcoat. Like, I literally just shot. It's, you know, definitely not a professional job by any means. There's probably some spots that could be gone over again, but my main concerns were the areas where I'm doing the repair. I wanted to make sure that I got nice coats there. I got the subframe pretty good with rust converter before I went ahead with this. I also got all the other parts with rust converter before I started spraying the SEM, just to try and get any flash rust off. This subframe's pretty brutal.
I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not trying to make this like a brand new one. I just wanted to clean up the underside a little bit and this cross member, which, you know, you can see it's not a perfect coverage or anything. I got all the body plug areas that I wanted to get, all the areas where I'm gonna put new seam sealer. Anywhere where I still see there's rust, I'm probably going to use rust paint instead of automotive paint that matches, because it's just not worth the time if it's going to come back like that. Here's what the inside of the rocker looks like on the passenger side. And on the driver's side. And then this is the trunk areas. Oops. That's the rear floor pan. So yeah, definitely not perfect. Like I said, the areas where I'm not really too happy with, I'm just gonna shoot some Rust-Oleum rust paint over. And yeah, the inside of the rocker, once that's dry, I might do one top coat of silver, and then I'm gonna shoot some weld spray in there, because I noticed where they did the patches before, they got the rust coating was damaged from the weld spatter. So I'm gonna see if that can mitigate some of the damage, and then I'm gonna shoot cavity wax inside both rockers and on top of every repair that I've done, just because the crown, I don't really like how it runs off so easily. But like other oil-based ones will do the same. Whereas the cavity wax, you can see it's not going anywhere, right? Like I can pick at that and it's very resilient, right? The passage of time will not degrade it as easily as an oil-based undercoat. And I'm not using any rubberized crap because honestly, the rubberized crap is probably what causes this frickin' disgusting mess. I've gone ahead and measured the lower rad support. I think the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna use 2x2 square tubing, and then where it mounts to everything, I'm just gonna either weld in nuts or drill in holes or make tab provisions to mount the AC condenser and the rad and the cross member. And that'll make it a lot simpler than doing a tubular design. But yeah, so that's gonna dry now. I got my oil heater set up to make sure the garage stays warm so this cures properly. And yeah, sometime this week we're gonna shoot some paint on this. And then eventually we're gonna get into sectioning the rocker that I bought off the internet and start welding. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right.
So it's currently pissing rain down, but I spent all of Saturday and most of this morning cutting and trimming the rocker panel to size. I've taken the rear door off because it was going to get in the way when I was palm sanding, but I left the the front door on, I should say, because I want to make sure that I pull this remaining part down enough that it clears the door, because right now with the spring tension from being part of the center post, it pulls up too much. So I have the door on to remember, pull it down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of anti-spatter on the door. Maybe. No. I suppose I could just pull it down really hard while the door's open and weld it. Got a little bit of flex. Anyway, there is more fiberglass, unfortunately, but I've already gone and cut, so not much we can do at this point. I've got the two parts here pretty much lined up. I think I'm just going to do a little bit more adjusting before I clamp it down, because it doesn't quite meet up so nice down there. But what I'm trying to get is these two body lines to align properly. That's my reference point. That way, when you put the rocker molding on, it won't hang off all funny. And then once I'm done with this, I'll go and I'll make a little section out of the wheelhouse that I got, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I got the rocker on, door gap, it opens and closes, but definitely I'll have to adjust the door a little bit because the gap is kind of uneven from the front to the back. Matches up pretty good, I'd say. Now, you get back here, and I've cut my patch out of the dog leg, and you think, oh, that looks pretty nice, right? Well, wouldn't you know it, it's almost an inch short. I haven't cut this edge. They sent me two panels that don't even overlap. So what I'm gonna have to do, unfortunately, is I'm gonna have to make a third patch out of the front of the rocker. And that's gonna have to get sandwiched in between the dogleg patch and this rocker panel. So I'm really not impressed. But we've made pretty good progress, I'd say, given the circumstances. Yeah, as I was sanding for paint, I noticed the Bondo goes so far up. I don't understand what happened to this car, but not good things happened during the repair, I can tell you that. Okay, so far this is what I got. I cut a piece off the front of the rocker, not realizing that the radius is different. So pretty much what I'm doing, because it's so thin of steel, I'm just bending it as I tack up to the radius, and then this little divot here, I'm gonna try and bump out with a mallet and a dolly to just try and massage it to the same contour as the rest of the rocker here. But we're getting there. slowly but surely, I think. We're coming along pretty good. Getting close to the point where I can start thinking about doing some panel bond. And then we'll worry about the inner wheelhouse when that's all said and done, I think. Yeah. Okay, so because I don't have $100 to spend on freaking panel bond, I got this from Canadian Tire. It's JB Weld Seam Weld. Vibration and impact resistant. Great for body panels. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna squirt some of this out, and what I can't get directly with the gun, I'm just gonna spread with this little putty spreader, and then I'm gonna use this assortment of clamps and whatever clamps I have over there to hold it down. It says it cures in 1 hour. I got the heater going in here at 23, so we'll see about that, and I'll probably just leave it on overnight, but I'll turn the heater off before I go to bed. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna do to do the panel bond. And pretty much where that is going, where is, oh. So from the factory, this entire seam for the quarter panel is panel bonded to the inner. And then there's a seam seal bead that runs down the whole length. So I'm gonna pull back this patch and squirt a bead down here and along this edge here, and then I'm gonna clamp it. At the same time, I'm gonna have to, 5-minute cure time. I'm gonna have to be really quick. I'm gonna run one as much as I can along my patch here, just because I don't wanna have to worry about clamping it so much while I'm doing the seam welds, and this will also give it a little bit more strength if I don't decide to make as many spot welds along this seam, because as you can see, like, they have not drilled any of it. Nope, none. They do exist, I see them. So yeah, it's not manufacturer spec, but that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of like completely seam welding the whole thing, which is just gonna add unnecessary weight and time to the whole mess. Yeah, I'm just gonna use panel bond initially and then drill a few holes for some welds to reinforce the pinch, because obviously you can't just panel bond your pinch. I know some bodymen that I used to work with would do that, and don't just panel bond your seams. You gotta attach metal to metal with metal, not Play-Doh. Okay, so in a panic, I started to realize I didn't have enough clamps. So some are wood clamps, some are C-clamps, some are channel locks, some are vice grips, but yeah, for what it's worth, it's touching where it needs to. So this is where I'm gonna leave it for tonight, and then tomorrow I'll keep on welding, and we'll get a little some back there for a patch, and then this side will be ready to be metal finished and prepped, and then we can work on the other side patch, because that's the easy one, and then rad support.
Good night.